The revolution will not be televised, not be televised, and be no rerun, brothers and sisters. The revolution.
Wow. So, Rick, can you unmute yourself?
Can you hear me?
Great. Well, welcome to Seed Dreaming. And we're on our second day, and I'm so excited to meet you. I've only gotten to see a little bit of your YouTubes and stuff, so you're brand new for me. But Rick, hopefully today we'll get to get another inspiration and nuggets of truth from you that'll help us as we go through all these changes and light up the grid here. So
Yeah,
thank you for being here, Rick.
Thanks, Kathy. Thanks for inviting me. Thanks to Omar as well for inviting me. And I really appreciated Kiara's talk. It really set a wonderful tone for today.
Yes, he's a beautiful being. He's stayed at my house, and he's an old friend of mine. So yeah. So anyway, so I'm going to get off to give you your time. And again, I will let you know around 5 minutes. And also, I think you got the note from Omar that we can't talk about certain things.
Correct. Yeah, okay. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. And let me know if there's anything I can do to help. Okay.
Thanks, Kathy. I appreciate that.
Okay.
Okay, well, this is kind of my first time doing anything like this, and I'm really grateful for that opportunity. So I'm going to introduce myself a little bit. I'm a bit of an intellectual. I'm kind of shy in a lot of ways about kind of like getting involved with things and other people, but this group that Watchers Talk and Full Spectrum Universe has gathered are feel like my crowd, feel like the type of people I like being around. I give people the benefit of the doubt, but I feel like deep trust must be earned, and so I'm kind of a more cautious fellow, but I'm very optimistic too. And I've long wondered, with all the leaders in the world, and even since I was a little child, I wondered, why and how they allowed the world they governed to become so dysfunctional. I remember seeing the ads with the Native American and heaps of garbage back in the 60s and him with a tear in his eye. And I just wondered, why we couldn't solve these problems if we had everybody working together. And so I started searching everywhere for better and better philosophies and wisdom to use in my life and make sense of things. And so what I do in life is I take challenges and I try to persevere with joy through them while I learn my lessons. And I've had plenty to learn in this lifetime. So Omar asked me, I asked Omar, what did you want me to talk about today? And Omar said, well, the theme is gratitude and timelines. So I'm going to mainly focus here on gratitude, and I'll talk a little bit about timelines. I'm going to talk about personal responsibility in timelines. But I'm going to begin with gratitude and spend most of my time here today talking about that. So to me, gratitude helps in so many different ways. Gratitude helps form a positive mental and emotional state. Gratitude helps you appreciate your experience in a most positive way. It helps you put your negative experiences in a better perspective. Gratitude allows you the power and the opportunity to give back to the universe. And that's really important because I don't think any of us have egos big enough to think that we created this universe or that we created ourselves. So just understanding that gratitude allows you the power and opportunity to give back to the universe is a very powerful understanding, I believe. Gratitude helps you connect more strongly to your guides because your guides are working on levels that might be different, might be a little higher than where you're working from here in this 3D, even though you may have had past, incarnations on higher dimensions. Right now, you are part of this 3D school. You're part of this 3D experience. And while you're incarnated here, you have guides, I believe, and they're always, trying to help you, maybe prompting you with thoughts or ideas about what you can do to further progress. And gratitude helps you, I believe, connect more strongly to your guides. And gratitude creates more energetic balance within yourself, because with regard to the universal law of giving and receiving, if you're only giving and not receiving, you're out of balance. And so you need to learn to receive. And if you're only receiving but not giving, there again, you're out of balance. So gratitude creates a better energetic balance with regard to universal law. So gratitude comes in many different ways, and I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the different ways that you can kind of specifically think about how it can be so uplifting. And so first off, there's just the gratitude for being alive, to have the experience of living. And I'm grateful for being here today with you and all of you who are watching, and those of you who are sharing like Kiara did, and the many other beautiful speakers to come after me, and those who may, and all the beautiful speakers that came yesterday and those who will come tomorrow. And then those who may watch this show at a later time, to all of you, I say thank you. I'm grateful for all of you. You can have gratitude for your inner connection with divine source. And this is really important because, when you think about who you are at your core, to me, it's that spark of consciousness that was given and created by divine source. And that connects you with everything in the universe at all levels of, all dimensions, all understanding. Right here in this realm, we kind of live in a veiled reality. But as we pursue our quest for understanding ourselves and our inner world, we can start to see it expressed in our outer world. And that gratitude for your inner connection with divine source, I think, is essential. Gratitude for your health and the possibility of even minimal improvement if you're having health issues while you experience life in this, fragile human life form. Here I'm reminded of the Cat Stevens song, Moon Shadow. If I ever lose my mouth, all my teeth north and south, yes, if I ever lose my mouth, oh, I won't have to talk no more. It's just be grateful for whatever circumstance you're in. Just the fact that you're living in a human body, your spirit and energetic fields animate this body. And I've known some people who've had very difficult circumstances. One who comes to mind is a friend of mine who passed away not too long ago, named Julian Dombrowski. And he lived here in Tucson, Arizona. He suffered from, I believe it was muscular dystrophy. He would come into my pop culture shop, and he would come accompanied by an assistant. He would come in a wheelchair, and the only physical abilities he was able to use besides speaking and using his eyes and facial expression were his fingers, his thumb and his forefinger for moving his chair around. And Julian always was, tried to be as optimistic about his situation as possible. And I took so much inspiration from how he dealt with life. And one time I made the suggestion to him that maybe he would consider, writing a book. And Julian ended up authoring at least 2 books, and I think he was on to a third. And I still haven't authored my first book. So from his position of physical ill health, he created, beautiful works. And so there are, even if you're suffering at home right now, any of you, from, health issues, just have gratitude for the state you're in and remember the possibility of healing. It's always possible for you. And gratitude helps build that potential. So gratitude for your individual moments of cosmic understanding is something that you can be grateful for those moments, epiphanies of enlightenment, of getting it, where you just kind of like a moment in time, gives you a certain understanding that you've been searching for a while. And that's something to be grateful for.
Uh-oh. The internet is our friend. Oh, let's see it. Omar's here. Omar's here for a little while we're frozen. Or do you want to? Oh, here he's coming back. Yay. Here we go.
Hello. I've been having problems with my internet connection lately. Oh,
no, it's perfect. It worked out perfect. I got to talk to Omar for a second, and now you're back. Perfect. Okay.
Oh, well, great. Okay, thanks,
so
Kathy.
You still have 15 minutes.
Okay, well, I'll try and blaze through this here.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Kathy.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so yeah, as I was saying, I have I'm not sure where I cut off there, but I was talking about the clair abilities and being grateful about those. And one time I sensed I talked to my wife as we were driving home with our dog from work, and I said, I feel like something is going to come up in this world that could be very, very bad. And 3 days later, Fukushima happened. So in that sense, I don't know that, I'm grateful for that kind of knowledge or understanding, but there are people that have clairsentience that just can feel stuff, happening. And I guess that was the one case where it happened to me. But there's also gratitude for any opportunities to help heal a part of your life and or someone else's life. And I've got to experience that quite a bit. I was given information from an extraterrestrial guide that was channeled through a deep chance channel for me. Kathy Star Eagle, who has now passed on, Kathy Gallant, and she passed away in 2020. And she was a beautiful person, and she gave me 16 hours with this being from the M42 Nebula named Loran, and his beings that were associated with were called the Lyridians. And at one point over the course of the year, which was 2010, they told me that I had a gift for healing and that I might just know how to do it naturally. So I just tried, because I'm scientific by nature and kind of intellectual, and I didn't know exactly what to do or how to do it. So what I decided to do was just try experiments. And if people that who would come into my store would say they would have an issue, I would say, would you want to try an experiment, see if we can do something about that? And a lot of times people were in enough distress that they would go for it, because other stuff hadn't worked, and I found out that I had a gift for healing. And as I explored that, I realized I was a conduit for healing from my guides. I guess I work with some of the angelic realm and some of the galactic realm, and I call on them to assist me, and I just try and offer as much love as I can while I do the healings. And it seemed to work for over 500 people in various different things. So I have a huge amount of gratitude for that period of my life, the 10 years from 2010 to 2020, before things got weird, where I was able to do a lot of healings for people. And then there's gratitude for the experience and learning about universal laws and being able and willing to try and apply them to your life and work. Knowing your essence and truth, that you are divine incarnated, and the truth of you is love. The universal law of above and below, what can be healed on heaven can be healed on earth. Within and without, your brilliance within and your projected outward expression. Giving and receiving. As you love others well, you must also cherish yourself. Attach and detach. Do not attach to your visions and belief, but instead kind of be the observer and keep revising what you learn and what you know and what comes to you. Don't stay, static. Keep being willing to grow and change. And then the gratitude for any awareness that divine source has created, which is I believe, a universe teeming with a staggering amount of life everywhere. And also on higher levels of positive existence that we may barely be able to comprehend. I'm grateful for all the evidence and testimonies that led me to that certainty, which I am certain that there's extraterrestrial life and higher dimensional life. I don't doubt it in any way anymore. I have gratitude for free will amongst a universe of divine will, and a gratitude for the awareness that one needs to focus and concentrate on their own individual responsibility with one's free will to choose and follow and apply universal laws. You have the free will to do it, and you have the free will to not do it. And hopefully, you're choosing the path that's of the best and highest good for yourself and all the beings of the universe. Gratitude for one's own individual path, meeting all the wonderful souls along the way. And gratitude for all the positive spiritual choices that you've made in your life, because those are what take you on to the next of, possibly many future lives. So when you generate these kinds of gratitude, the high frequencies will help uplift you, easy for me to say, into higher and more positive mental, which is the causal, emotional, which is the astral, and physical, which is the etheric states of being, and build your energetic bodies into healthier states of being. Remember, those bodies, that energy, that consciousness is what we truly are, and that just inhabits this physical form and unites with it for, a temporary amount of time. And then, we shed that body and move on to another life or another dimension or realm of existence. So when you generate these kinds of gratitude, these high frequencies help uplift those energetic bodies more and more. So personal events which I'm grateful for. I'm grateful to my rocks and crystals, because even when I was 4 years old, my grandparents in Tombstone would find me outside talking to my rocks, and even today, I still love crystals. I'm grateful for my difficult family life as a child, because those challenges helped strengthen my character. I'm grateful for receiving a Sears Leadership Award in high school, because it strongly clued me into the spiritual. At that time, I only thought there were three things: mental, physical, and emotional. I didn't really consider spiritual. And it really pushed me in a direction to explore that, which I'm very grateful for. I'm grateful for my mind and spirit that would not simply accept what I was told to believe, but a mind and spirit that felt a self-responsibility to really discover what I alone truly found to be truth and truly believed in, which sent me on a decades-long quest. And this is still a part of that. I'm still, questing, although many of my searches have been answered through some experiences I'm going to try and share if I end up having enough time here. I'm grateful for discovering music, because listening to music and connecting with lyrics and the energy of songs helped me pull through so many difficult times. And I learned to dance in my own individual, strange but ecstatic way that comes from my heart. I'm grateful for meeting and marrying my wife and being accepted by her family, and for the fur babies that we have together that bring us so much joy. The trip to get her, we met, and within a few days we knew we were meant for each other, and we promised each other that we would get married soon. And this was after only about a week of knowing each other. And so she already had a trip planned down to Guatemala, and she was going to stay there permanently with her grandmother. So I told her I would come down and get her and bring her back to the United States. And I went down with my friends John and Fujio, and on the way down, we were driving through Palenque area, the Chiapas Mountains, and the red clay from the rains filled the road and filled up the grooves of the tires, and we slid a couple times nearly off the road. And one time, we had one wheel overhanging a cliff that was about a 2,000-foot drop off, and we managed. Fujio was still stuck in the truck, so we had to push the vehicle back off the edge of the cliff, and we survived. And I'm grateful for not dying then and being able to experience the rest of my life and being able to marry my wife and have the life that I have. I'm grateful for my guides and how I've learned to connect with them, including channeling their energy through my higher self. I'm grateful for the gift of being able to help channel healing from my guides through me to help heal people. And I'm grateful for the love that I can contribute in healings. And I spent 10 years from 2010 to 2020, and all the healings I did, I never charged anybody a penny. It was just for the experience and for the gift of being able to be that conduit of healing. And it was one of the most greatest gifts I can ever imagine getting in any lifetime. I'm grateful for this Al incident, which led me and taught me on all these paths. It's led me to explore extraterrestrials and metaphysics. If you're interested in that, you can read about it on my website. It's too complicated, but basically a 4-foot white owl, which don't exist apparently in real life, stood in front of my car after a thunderstorm was ending. And it was an inexplicable thunderstorm, came out of nowhere. There was no weather front that preceded it. And it led me to ask questions. And when I got to speak with that medium, the deep trance channel I was telling you about, Kathy, the being that came through said that I was taken on board a Pleiadian ship and given a healing. I'm grateful for a second event with the Pleiadians, a dream event where they did a heart-lung transplant for me. I was lying on a gurney, and they were doing a heart-lung transplant where I saw like a holographic heart and lung taken out and another one put in while I hovered over my body. And I woke up with my arms, rigidly by my side. The Christmas Day morning, 1991, turned to my wife and told her what just happened. And I believe now that it really did happen. I believe that it was more than just a dream. I'm learning to try to be grateful for the horrible lessons of a bad bank deal and the day that happened, a bad appraisal that happened as we were buying a building for our business the day before 9/11 in 2001. And the awareness that led me to about the true nature of the deep state. This was a difficult test. It cost us a couple decades of our wealth and savings. And I have to remind myself that everything is happening for my highest good. And I know that there's a purpose to, that horrible financial burden and struggle that my wife and I went through. When I began UFO Hypotheses series of videos, I became so depressed by the information I was discovering. And in my dreams, I was comforted by a middle-aged man and 2 old women as I cried about all that I had learned. And I believe they were guides of mine there to comfort my spirit. And I'm very grateful for them, because after that, I was able to cope with all the information that I had, gathered and began to understand. And so, it helped me upon my path of discovery of the truths about the dark, deep state of things that, in 2020 to 2022, a lot of us now have become very aware of. It's just very in our face now. My videos were being censored since 2007 on YouTube, and McAfee and other antivirus products were selectively giving harsh warnings about my website. Even my friends were saying, we don't want to go into your website because all these antivirus programs are giving us warnings. And that was a form of censorship since 2007. And I became grateful because that let me know that I was on the right path in sharing what I was sharing. I'm very grateful for the connection to Loran, the 5th dimensional being who shared so much past life information with me and coached me to remember and reminded me that I had a gift for healing, which led me on the most fantastic experiences of my life, being a conduit for healings. I'm grateful for the angel catch. You can read about that on my website. It's rickkeefe.wordpress.com. And what that helped me do mainly was I turned faith into trust. As I was falling off this cliff, this embankment, this wood, this stone outcropping, as we were going down to on an evening of celebrating Gaia and the earth, and going down to do a water ceremony. There were some girls leading the path, and it was complete darkness. We had set out too late down this path, and it was now evening, and we could only see the stars, and it was way out in the desert where there was no lights of any kind other than this, the few stars. There was no moonlight or anything, and I took a tumble backwards, and a hand that was about 18 to 24 inches. It was about 1.5 to 2 feet. It felt like it was a hand of air, and it just set me right back up, perfectly standing again in front of a witness who saw it happen. And I'm grateful for that, because then that changed my life completely. I went from having faith about the world of the invisible and the unseen forces and beings of higher dimensions to having absolute trust and knowing that they're real. And I want to share this with you and basically tell you that there are beings out there watching over us and trying to help us uplift ourselves. And they're there to catch us when we fall. And for me, I guess I just needed a physical affirmation of that, and they provided that for me. I'm grateful for the Falling book. And this is also on my website. This is the book that just fell out of the sky. Yeah, and I'm not a big reader of the Bible, but it fell out of the sky, and that's called an apportation, I've learned. And this is what was inscribed in the beginning. I don't know if you can see this here, but it talks about presented to Christina, which I interpret as Tiny Christ, and a Savannah, which I interpret as the land, by J.E.G., which I interpret as Jesus, Emmanuel, God, on the occasion of forgiveness. And that was really a timely message that came to me, because my mother, a month later, who I was estranged with, had a health crisis where she nearly died, and I was able to help give her a healing. And she ultimately lived another 9 months when the doctors didn't think she was going to make it through the night. And that helped me in my process of forgiveness for my difficult childhood, and it helped me, reestablish some relationship with my mother before she passed, and help kind of clear away a lot of, old karma.
Wow.
Yeah.
You did an amazing job.
Oh, my time up? Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to say that, because wow, that was amazing. All the wonderful things that have happened for you, and sharing that lets us look at all of the things for ourselves as well. Thank you so much, Rick.
Sure, Kathy. I would just like to say one other thing. All these beautiful kinds of things can happen to everybody if you just keep pursuing what your heart tells you to truly believe in. Don't let what everybody else is going on. Don't compare yourself to anybody. Just pursue your own path in trust and love, and you're gonna find miracles happen to you.
That's right. It's your perspective is everything. We're creating it all. We're really powerful beings, but we forgot. Thank you so much. Happy holidays.
Thanks, Kathy.
Thank you
Thanks
for
for this
being a big
opportunity.
part of this. Thank you. Bye-bye.